What's going on, guys, and welcome back to Mikey's Vlogs. In today's video I'm going to show you guys how to install a rear diffuser on your W204. But before we get into it, I wanted to explain to you guys that because this is an aftermarket part, it's not 100% perfect. So what I mean by that is it actually doesn't come with pre-drilled holes. As you can see, I've drilled 2 holes here, but only one of them fits because I made the mistake of drilling the hole before measuring. So just remember that, guys. Rule of thumb: measure twice, drill once, or cut once. Same rule applies, same principle. And also these 2 holes here and 1 hole on this side. So basically you're only securing it at 4 points, which is these 2 and the 2 on the ends, and that's it. Then it basically just holds in by being clipped into place. And also, not only that, but some of these actually come too short, where this part here is actually cut off here, so you actually have to use the bracket off the old diffuser and then secure it to this diffuser, then fit it. But in my case, I've bought one that actually is long enough, so all I had to do was drill a hole and use a bolt that's long enough in order to secure it. Because that's all you need to do, guys. You just basically need to secure it so that it doesn't flap around, and that way it won't rip off as you're driving down the freeway. Just be aware of all these things if you decide to actually do this, because, you know, like, I bought this thinking that it was just a direct fitment, but it's not. So, you know, I had to learn the hard way, but, you know, in the end it wasn't that bad of a task. So, you know, I tackled it, and here we are now, and we're going to get it done. Okay, guys, now in order to get started and give yourself the most room possible, you want to remove the exhaust tips. And in order to remove them, you just have to remove 2 screws that hold them in place when you look underneath it. So there will be 2 screws, I'll show you in a second. There'll be 2 screws under here securing it in place, right here, right there, and then you undo the screw that's in there, and then you simply pull back on the exhaust tip, and it just comes off. So the screw I was talking about is this screw. That's the screw there, and it's just held in like so, and you just have to remove it. I think it's either a hex 4 or 5. Don't quote me on that, but it's one of those, or a Torx bit. I actually have changed mine, so that's why mine's different, and I'm using these to secure it. But anyway, so yeah, you take off these exhaust tips, both of them, after removing the screws, and that way it will expose these 2 Torx bits there. There's one right there, and there's another one right there. Okay, guys, now to remove this screw, just to show you guys, this is how I did it. So, you know, I just got a little extension, and because the screw's in here, I just put that in there like that, and attached the drill to the end piece right here, and then pulled it out, and that was it, just like that. There you go, guys, just like that. And do the same to the other side as well. Okay, now that we've removed the other screw, we now have to remove these 2 10mm bolts. There's one here and one more on this side, right there. And then that's the last of the bolts, and we can then begin to unclip the rear diffuser and just pull it apart. Okay, now to remove the 2 10mm bolts. So 1, 2. Okay, now we can begin to pull the rear diffuser off. So in order to do it, I like to go from one side and then to the other side. So just pull this part back, like so, and pull it down as you pull back, and it just comes out like that. Just pull down a little bit and then pull back, and that's it, guys. That's how the rear diffuser comes off. So now, as you can see, this is where they all go into. That's how it clips in. So we have to line up all those tabs with these tabs. All these tabs are in here. And then we just have to clip it in place and secure it in with the 4 screws. And it's that simple. Okay guys, and just to make life a little bit easier, I do recommend putting some grease on these tabs just to help it slide into place, because they're very hard and brittle. So, you know, just grab a little bit of grease and put some on the edges just to help it slide into place, because like I said, it is very brittle and hard, and the carbon fiber is also very, very hard, so you don't want to flex it too much because it will break, it will snap. Okay, and I'm just putting a little bit of grease on all these joints so that they can slide in a bit easier, just to make life a bit easier, you know. A little bit of tricks of the trade that can just help you out in the long run. Okay, now a little bit of grease put on there. Now we can fit it. Okay, now all you want to do is line up the tabs like so, and then it just slides into place. Like so. I also recommend to remove your little rear tow bar so that you can actually get access inside and see how it's clipping in. Okay. Make sure everything is fitted as it's supposed to. Okay guys, and just another example of the modifications you need to do in order to make it fit. As you can see here, it's supposed to sit more flush in, like so. As you can see, it moves in and out just that little bit, you can see. So in order to make it fit, I had to drill a hole in this tab right here. I'll show you from underneath. Right there, this tab here. As you can see, there's a hole in it right now, and I had to put a screw in it in order to make it sit snug and flush. Okay, that's just another example of some of the modifications you're going to have to deal with when you fit these. Okay, and here's just an example of the end result of when you have to drill it and put a screw in order to secure it. See how it doesn't move anymore, and it's in flush. There we go. Okay, and just to show you guys how I did the bolts, because I took off the original bolt holder here, so we don't need that anymore, as we're not screwing a screw in this way anymore. So you put the bolt through a washer, and then I grab another washer and a bolt like so, and I fix it to it like so. And then I put another bolt on, and this will secure the bolt straight so it doesn't just wobble around. Okay, now so let me just hold that while I flick it on. See, and then that gets closer to the top, and as you can imagine, it holds it in place. Okay, a little wash there, the bolt that will hold that straight. Then we need the other washer with a rubber like so, because we want the rubber where it meets the let me get another bolt, sorry. Jesus, this is how I've done it, guys. You don't have to do it this way. I guess you could simply just put a bolt all the way through and that would suffice, but I've done it this way just to be sure that it won't flap around and wobble around. Like so, yep. And then you put it through the hole, like so, and get it straight in, and we tighten that there, tighten that down here. There we go. That sits flush here, so that's how I have it. Then I simply just tighten these bolts like so, and I use another washer with another bolt and another rubber piece like so, because I want the rubber where it meets the carbon fiber. And there you have it, guys, just like this. There you go. Now all you have to do is tighten these down so they hold into place. And there you have it, guys. That's exactly how I have my setup, just like that. So I've got a bolt on the top, and then a washer, then another washer, another bolt. Then I've got a rubber washer, a metal washer, then another bolt there, as you can see. And the same thing at the bottom, a rubber washer, a metal washer, then another bolt. And as you can see, that's not going anywhere, guys. That definitely holds it in place so it doesn't flap around or, you know, cause any damage as you're driving. That's exactly how you need it, just like that, guys. Perfect. And if you wanted it a bit lower, it's totally up to you how you want it. I've just kept mine flush with the part of the car here, just like that, flush. And there you have it, guys. Now you just have to do the same to the other side and you're done. Now we need to drill the two side mounts, and in order to do that, we've got to use a drill bit, obviously. Now you can use either just a hand drill or even just a power tool. It's just easier. A hand drill might even be easier because it's hard to get a tool in there. You have to use an extension and stuff. So in order to tackle it, you want to start with a really small drill bit and then slowly step up to the size you want. So the screw we're replacing is that thick there. So we want to just get the screw about that size there, and that ought to do it. And then you can simply screw it in and it will tighten and expand it as you screw it in. But don't just try to screw it straight in, this screw straight in, because it will crack the fiberglass, because like I've said before, it is very fragile, the fiberglass. So like I said, make sure you start off with a really small drill bit and then step up to the size you need. Then you can put your screw in. Okay guys, now once you've drilled the holes and you're ready to fit the T20 screw back in, you want to just make sure you start it by hand, just like so, because it will go straight through and easily. And just like that, guys, see, now it's in. And you want to push on the diffuser as you're screwing it in, like so. And then once you get it flush, then you can tighten it with a tool. And there you go, guys. Don't go in too tight or you will crack the fiberglass. And that's it, just like that. It's secure, guys. There you go. It's not going anywhere. And that was only done by hand, because it's all you need, guys. You only need to do it tight enough by hand. And now to do the other side. And the exact same thing on this side, guys. Once you drill the hole like so, you just want to do it by hand first until you get it through. That way you don't risk cracking it. And as you can see, it's just going straight through here, just like that. You go halfway in, and if we just keep going, obviously we will get it all the way in just by hand, guys. There you go. A couple more turns and we are solid. There you go. And there you go, guys. And make sure it comes out through the other side. There you go, guys. Just by hand. And then at the very end, there you go. Then after you've tightened it by hand, now you can grab your tool or whatever it is you want to use to tighten it. But remember, guys, not too tight, just enough to make it snug. Okay, and that's how I've done mine. As you can see, I'll do it from another angle. And it's in. And well, there you have it, guys. How to replace the rear diffuser on a W204 and make sure that it fits and you secure it correctly with all 4 screws. 2 bolts and 2 screws. That's all it takes, guys. And it's that easy to replace the diffuser on the W204. And honestly, for most cars, it's roughly the same. So, in other words, it's not that big of a job. So if you want to replace your diffuser on your car today, do it now. It's that easy. And look at the end result, guys. Just look at how sexy that looks. Oh my gosh. Look at that, guys. Look how sexy that looks. I mean, all it needs now is simply the quad tips, and we're done.